Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome, welcome. It is time for Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm so glad you're joining me today. A beautiful fall day here in northern Colorado. And I just have to say that thank goodness I'm not the only freak show on the planet. Because yesterday, I don't know if you remember, but I was telling you how everybody around me here in northern Colorado was posting their pictures about the aurora borealis, the northern lights. How beautiful, how gorgeous, everybody, how gorgeous, bright pink streaks in the sky. And here's me, the weirdo that I am. I'm like, yeah, I bet that's like some kind of chemtrail. I bet you that's some kind of HARP experiment. I bet that's some kind of a radioactive material. And here are all these people standing outside. Ooh, look at how pretty, how pretty. Meanwhile, I'm like hiding inside thinking, I don't want to breathe that in. Like that's going to help. Oh my gosh, it's a crazy world that we live in, but I'm not alone. I'm not alone, and it's not just me, because lo and behold, what did I see today is a whole bunch of memes, and I just had to bring one to share it with you. So check this one out. When they turn on HARP and everyone thinks they've seen the northern lights. That's literally my my face, you guys. That's what I was thinking. If you're just listening, there's a face in the clouds here, just very like, I don't know. I don't know, you guys. Of course, I did a little search, and I think I researched this. This is how it was like, why am I like this? Why am I like this? But I'm pretty sure I researched this, like, because these so-called northern lights popped up around here in northern Colorado last year. And I thought, okay, all right, maybe, because there was like all this stuff like, oh, it only happens once every like 100 years or something when you can see the northern lights in Colorado. And so I thought, okay, well, maybe. But no, of course, I did a little research and I found out that indeed, HAARP can create this. HAARP can create designs in the sky, actually. So I'm not crazy. You're not crazy. It's a little weird, especially because they're not even like, listen, did you watch Brother Bear? My kids grew up in the era of Brother Bear, that cartoon. The Northern Lights, man, they were green. They were blue. They were like, they weren't this color of pink. Okay? They weren't this color of pink. So I don't know. But yeah, I just, is everything fake? The more and more I look into things, you guys, I think it is totally valid to be questioning everything. And maybe, it's fake. It's like, it's astroturfed, right? Like on the surface, it's being explained in a certain way, right? And you're like, okay, yeah, well, maybe. And then you find out later down the road that that's not at all what was going on, right? Like I was talking about those charities yesterday, going through a whole list of charities that gives like less than 1% of the monies to the actual cause that they are trying to bring awareness to and solve ultimately, right? Like, shouldn't that be your issue? Like that you want to solve a problem and then eventually put yourself out of business as a charity? Like you would think. But it doesn't appear that way, And again, it's kind of that astroturfing effect. So the top story I want to talk about today, because what does your algorithm want you thinking about today? Well, my algorithm wants me thinking about the fact that Candace Owens is a nut job. Yeah. That's what my algorithm on. And so, tweet after tweet after tweet, it's all about Candace Owens being a complete and utter nut job. And of course, I'm following her. You know why? Because I'm interested in what she's discovering. I don't know. I don't even know what she thinks happened at this point. She's clearly like, she's going through evidence day by day. And it's changing here and it's changing there. So like, if you guys think this is all about her, being an anti-Semite or whatever, I would urge you like, go listen to her, because that's what they're making it out to be, that she's an anti-Semite. That's what they're making it out to be, and that's what my algorithm is really pushing, that she's crazy, she's an anti-Semite and blah. But like, if you listen to her, she's talking about the military-industrial complex. She's talking about some topics that are scaring some people. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, so I listened to her stuff last night while I was cooking dinner. And I was like, well, isn't that just so freaking interesting? And the reason why I find it so freaking interesting is because Jason and I have always said this, there's a church everywhere around here. There's churches here, churches there, church. I mean, you can barely drive a couple blocks around America here in Colorado and not see a church, which is cool. Great. Awesome. Community, church, I've got no problem with that. But the question that Jason and I always talk about is like, that's a massive building. You know, these are massive facilities, a lot of them, and beautiful facilities, right? We're talking, you know, windows from top to bottom. You're talking about, you know, arches and peaks and like, you know, beautiful landscaped grounds and paved parking lots and, you know, wow, just like, wow, that's, you know, that's a pricey investment in these churches. And so, of course, our next question is, because, you know, we're entrepreneurs, we've been running businesses since we got together when we were 20 years old. So we're like, how do they fund that? You know, we're talking about 10, 20,000 square foot facilities and bigger. Like, I know what it costs to run my house. You know, I got 5 acres here. You know, my house isn't that big, but like, it ain't cheap, you know, nobody, right? Just think about your own personal bills, right? It's not cheap to live nowadays. And these massive churches somehow, like, it's always been a mystery to me. It has always been a mystery. I'm like, well, the Lord provides, right? But also like, how? you know, like, okay, but yeah. Okay. So that's just a question I've always had. I'm always like, you know, these churches, I'm just always like, well, like, how is that funded? Is it really, you know, the parishioners or the people that attend that go there? Is it really them tithing the 10% that equals to that? Because you're talking tens of thousands of dollars to run a facility like that every month. I'm serious. That's what it costs. You know, I remember sitting in a church once for something, and they were going over budget stuff. And this isn't even the most lavish church, okay? But their budget was like $25,000 a year, and that was, oh gosh, I think maybe Mateo was like 4. So, you know, 6, 7, 18 years ago, $25,000 to run their church monthly. I don't know, you know, just the math ain't mathin', as they say. And so I've always kind of wondered about that. So yesterday, Candace brings up this topic. She brings up this topic that, you know, what's going on with some of these pastors? And I'll share with you after the break a little bit more about what she said. But the interesting part to me is the military-industrial complex that she pointed out here, because you see a lot of that. See, like, you see a lot of famous musicians, a lot of famous celebrities that have big followings that are capable of shaping culture with their ideas, with their trends, with what they say. And then when you kind of look behind the scenes, it turns out a lot of them, not all, okay, I'm not generalizing here, I'm just saying a lot of them have like some link to the military. You know, some link to and I'm not talking about servicemen and women here. I'm talking about like, you know, the commander level military. And I'm just kind of like curious about that. I'm curious about that. It's like, why? Because you never hear like, oh, so-and-so, you know, is got 1 million followers, blah, blah, blah. And also their dad was a painter, like painted houses. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's always a little bit peculiar to me. I'm just like, well, is like, how many people does our federal government employ? You know? And is that what it is? Because I'm telling you, it's a lot of people that work for the government. And so like, is it just like a numbers game? Like, well, yeah, of course, you know, people are going to work for the government. And, you know, it just so happens that Jim Morrison's dad was, you know, an admiral high up. And, you know, it just so happens that, you know, these people always have these military ties. And is it that? Is it because so many people, or like, Are we just like being gaslit about how and who in what we think is public life is actually working in an op form or an asset form and only appearing like they're a public servant and a private citizen? Because that's got me wondering quite a bit. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Welcome back. Join us in the Naturally Inspired community. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com. We have solutions for all kinds of things, for weight loss, for heart health, for metabolic health, all kinds of solutions. You're going to buy them? We'd be so grateful if you bought them with us at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Over 1 in 5 professional musicians in the U.S. come from military families. And that's really interesting. 1 in 5 musicians come from a military family. And just like a rudimentary search, right? Federal government, this is civil employees only, has about 2.9 million civilian workers. That's as of August 2025. Okay. 1.29 million active duty military. So like we have millions of people that are employed by our government. Do we know exactly where those numbers are truly and what their capacity is? I just wonder, because everything can be hidden under the veil of national security. Well, this is a matter of national security. We can't really disclose. But like when COVID was happening, I got curious. You know me. I got a little curious. And I was just wondering, like, why are all these celebrities coming out, promoting the injection? Like, why do you care? Why would you put yourself in such a divisive situation when it's not really your job? And so as I started seeing these celebrities come forward and, do their little pose with their big shot and, all the stuff, I started looking them up. And what I was noticing is that they were all on... they were all on the client list of the talent agency or the PR firm CAA, which is the Creative Artist Alliance or something like that. I think it stands for CAA. It's a 3-letter agency. Anyway, so I've just thought it was very peculiar, that like I could not find one single COVID dissident on their roster. So I was like, interesting, right? And all the big names were there and all the big names that are, anti this and, against the Nazi regime and, all that stuff. They were all on there. And so, I don't know, I just found that interesting. And then time and time again, we get these stories about people who, like, I'm not saying just because your parents were in the military or your grandparents were in the military or whatever, that you're some kind of asset. Of course, not everybody, but it is interesting. Like, are we getting the whole truth about some of these relationships? And that's what I think Candace was talking about and is talking about. And I feel like, gosh, she's doing the work. She's doing the legwork to she gets a question. She has a question, something, because this is how I think too. I'm like, I wonder why that happened. I wonder why that happened. And you start and you go try to figure it out. She's just doing that in real time. And if you're freaking out about her doing that, like, why? Why are you freaking out about this? Let her. Just let her. I feel like this is like part of her grieving process too, because, she's lost this person who's really close to her. And, oh man, she's got the fire in her, right? She's got a fire in her. Let her. What are you, like, if you're really, there's so many people coming out attacking her. And I'm just thinking, why are you attacking her? I can't quite, it's just so offensive to, but none of those people have come out and approached her and told her to shut up. Like, I haven't heard anything about Charlie's mom or dad or his sister or anything like that, right? So, like, why do you care so much? Random chat bot on Twitter. Why do you care so much? I'm curious, because today my algorithm was workathin away, It was really working hard. I mean, I guess it knows that I watch Candace. And so the algorithm was working hard, pumping out things like this. This is Tim Pool. Candace Owens' drama is probably the most demoralizing beep ever. A true crime soap opera drama that isn't helping anyone. It's not advancing policy goals. It's just shock content retardation. So I was listening. I don't even know. I know why I was listening. I was listening because I saw Gavin. Oh my gosh, his name's escaping me right now. Anyway, McGinnis. There we go. Bingo. McGinnis. Gavin McGinnis. He's a Canadian guy. I had followed him in the past from time to time. He was on Tim Pool and they were having a little chin wag. And I thought, that's a weird conversation. That was a weird conversation for Gavin. I was like, that's not his tone. And it just was like this kind of, it was, I'm just going to tell you, it was scripted. Like, you could just tell it was scripted. And they were talking about Israel. And it was, I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. I mean, is that what it is? Like, it just felt so scripted. And I was like, oh, really? Like, it just was not a natural conversation. Okay. I don't know about you, but like in the real world, I'm not having conversations about Israel. When and I'm not having them like they were having it. It just felt so scripted, you guys. And I just thought, what is going on here? Why do we need to insert this into your guys' conversation? Because that's what it felt like. It was just inserted in there. And then, as I'm scrolling through looking for news stories today, I just see more and more of this type of stuff, right? Here's a person named Natalie who I've never heard of in my entire life, but she was all over my feed today. I don't follow her, never follow her. I don't even know who she is or what she does. I have no clue. So her name is Natalie Jean Besner. Check this out. Or maybe we don't have that one. Oh, let's see. Are we having a little problem? No, it's a Twitter shot. There we go. So I don't even know who these guys are, and I don't care. The way Candace talks is just so cringeworthy. It's so dramatic and juvenile all the time. It's embarrassing to watch when you're not swept up and mesmerized by her BS. She continued, what are you talking about? Is that an AI? That profile pic? It looks a little AI-y. You know, my point here being, you guys, we have no idea who is pumping this stuff out or why. You know, like who's to benefit from us, you know, hating Candace and not wanting to listen to her? Because like I said, it's all very, you know, coming from a place of trying to discover truth. Talk about dotting your I's and crossing your T's. Like, I don't know who you're crazy if you're gonna go up against her right now. She has a team of people, small team, very tight circle, and they are making sure that they dot every I, cross every T. Everything she says is, you know, provable with receipts. Like, I don't know why you would insert yourself into her investigation or into her, you know, work here, unless you have really, you know, if you know exactly what's been going on, you followed her every word or whatever. This isn't something I would just go, you know what, Candace, you're a liar. Because she is a dog with a bone. Like, you're crazy. And yet all these influencers, Allie Beth Stuckey, you know, I've liked some of her stuff before. She's on the Blaze. You know, not fully my cup of tea, but like, you know, good stuff. But like, she just inserts herself into this conversation. She doesn't even know what has been going on. And these people are just getting roasted in the comments because they're saying things, broad strokes, like she's accusing Erica of killing, you know, what are you talking about? You're just making yourself look stupid. You're just making yourself look guilty. So like, my message to you people is this: let her. Just let her. Stop commenting on it. Stop inserting yourself into the conversation. Stop. Let her do her thing and let's see where it goes. Why are you so upset about this? Because that's where you're breeding more distrust. Just let her. You know what I would say? I would say, my gosh, Candace is, you know, hurting so badly. One of the ways I think people grieve is to get justice for a situation. And I think that's what Candace is doing. And shouldn't we all be so lucky to have someone that cared enough to do that for us? And then let her. But no, we have all these people butting in, giving their opinion about it. And gosh, I'm just like, well, it just makes me kind of suspicious. I want to go to the video of Candace. Can we do that before the break, Jason? I know I'm a little late here. No. Okay. All right. Well, then we'll come to it right after, and then we'll go into our health topic because we have to switch things up just a little bit today. Bob Goreska from Carbon 60 is going to be joining us at 4:30. And man, I've got a lot to get to today. Chop. I got to get going here. There's so much you need to know. When we come back, we're going to hit that Candace clip, and then we'll get into your health topic. Stay tuned. I'll see you in a minute.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
I want to remind you, if you like wellness products, you will love this line. I love this line. I take all my stuff from it. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com. Your multivitamin. Get a methylated vitamin. You can get our cellular reset for inflammation. You can get support tools for losing weight. You can get support tools for prostate health, for menopause, all kinds of things. And they've all been clinically tested, and they've all been approved and tested for 2,400 different chemicals and toxins. They are clean. They are wonderful. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com today and join us in the Naturally Inspired community. Okay, so real quick, let's go to, there's a couple things. That I want to cover here. Sorry, I've got multiple things going on my screen here, so it's a little bit distracting, but I'm going to just go through here. So I want to play something from Candace, but actually before I do that, I want to show you how these media hacks try to, they're constantly trying to spin. They have an objective. And it just like, when I'm interviewing somebody, because I'm not a Fed, I don't get paid by the government to do anything. I'm like, what do I want to know from this person? What information can they bring them? What's interesting? How can this help us? But you know what? The mainstream media, the hack jobs out there that are actual assets, possibly, they've always got a different agenda. Here it is in full display. This is Tucker last night on a British TV, I believe. Here it is.
Your very good friend Candace Owens has been putting out some pretty wacko stuff, I would say, would be my opinion, on the death of Charlie. It's not helpful, is it, that, at that time of an incredible national upheaval, and obviously personal and familial family tragedy, to have someone like that picking apart the argument and suggesting that there are darker forces at play here that the US government have a hand in covering up. Can you see why people get upset by that and would like you perhaps to sort of distance yourself from that sort of thing?
Pretty funny. So am I going to attack Candace Owens because you think
I'm not asking you to attack her.
I'm not going to do that, Harry.
No,
Probably not going to do that. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt as a foreigner of not understanding our politics, but the whole ritual of, this person said something I don't like. In order to be a good person, you must denounce this person. Obviously, I would die before I played along with that. I don't know anyone who's saying that who has the moral authority to compel me.
And there you have it. Who is that guy? Don't you just find yourself asking you, like, who actually are you? Like, why do you do what you do? Because it's like, did you come up through a Fed training program and like you're just an asset like so many people that we know? Like, why do you do what you do? Because I think that should be a good place to where we start. If we can't really figure out why you're doing what you're doing, then there's got to be something else behind it, I think. So here's the clip from Candace. I want to go straight into it. Yeah, I'm just going to play it. And you think what you want. I had a lot of thoughts. Here it is.
Go. Okay. So that's the video that we received. And it is interesting because it turned out that old man is the brother of Pastor Jack Hibbs. We've been speaking about these pastors, man. These pastors. Pastor Hibbs, great friend of Charlie Kirk, also another leader of a Calvary chapel, just like our boy McCoy. Pastor McCoy, Calvary Chapel churches in California. Well, yeah, Pastor Jack Hibbs leads one. Butch Hibbs is also his brother, who's involved in a Calvary Chapel church in Utah. And later, what's interesting is he's behind Charlie when he gets out of the car. Like, Charlie comes out of his car, arrives for the event. He's with the amazing Mikey McCoy. And you can see that quote unquote crazy old man, as described by us, is actually he's here with Charlie. And Frank Turek confirms that pastor, that Butch Hibbs is Pastor Jack Hibbs's brother. Take a listen.
So we get there, we pray, we get out of the car. There's a whole bunch of TPUSA leaders there that want to pose for pictures. Charlie graciously poses for pictures. He posed for a picture with me, and we'll show this picture here. This is me, Charlie, and in the middle is Butch Hibbs. That's the brother of Jack Hibbs, Pastor Jack Hibbs. And he came to the event, wanted to meet us both, so we took a picture. This picture was taken maybe 20 minutes before the assassin struck.
Now, what's compelling is really that just like every other one of these New Age turning point pastors, Hibbs are from a military family, okay? Butch Sr. was in the Navy. What he did in the Navy is unclear, but I'm interested. I'm just really interested. Also, something that I'm just going to say on the side here is too many people that are involved in this Utah story I met through Prager University. Like, Jack Hibbs was somebody that Marissa flagged for me that she wanted me to have on my show. Like, she'd say, like, certain guests. The guy who runs Operation Underground.
It's just interesting, right? I mean, I'll say during COVID, especially, I was like searching for pastors to listen to on a regular basis, like people that had good messages. I was searching, and I came across Jack Hibbs, and I was looking for light. You know, I was just looking for encouragement and light to get through dark times. And I did notice that he had this guest on there all the time, Amir Safari. So, and I just, you know, he was always talking about what was going on in Israel, which I found interesting at the time because, you know, they were really locking their people down over there, and they were really like promoting the vax, and everybody had to be vaccinated over there. And it was like, you couldn't even get into a grocery store over there without being vaccinated. And I found it really interesting because Amir promoted the vax. And then that was kind of it for me. You know, they didn't denounce the vax, and they were big promoters of the vaccine. And I don't know about you, but like the vaccine was like kind of a spiritual thing for me. Like, there was at no point did I even like consider taking that thing, because it was just a dead no. Like I knew it was a no. And it wasn't fear. It wasn't fear at all of it. It was just no. Don't do that. And so when they started promoting the vaccine, I was like, oh gosh, this feels gross. I don't like this. I can't listen to these guys anymore. You know, because I felt clearly that it was a spiritual decision. And so I just couldn't be led by people who were, you know, promoting it. And now we find this out, right? Like, we find this kind of like, what is the connection here? And I'm not accusing anybody of anything. Listen, I'm just trying to figure this out, because it could be that there's just, this is the way they do business, you know, this is the way they do business, and fine. But like, why is it concealed? Why do they care if, you know, it's exposed that Israel funds Christian churches in America? Okay. Why is that? Why should be like, why is that such a bad? I don't get it. I don't get all the secrecy. Like, people will either be okay with that or they won't. That's called the free marketplace, right? And so, like, why all the secrecy? Why is it like, and then, attack her, and everybody's got to hate her and get on board with this. We've got the media trying to get, paint her as a crazy person. We even have influencers like Tim Pool. Like, really? What do you care? It just feels all coordinated, you guys. And I'm wondering, like, why? Because if there's really nothing, nefarious going on here, then just like let it go, because you're making it look worse by trying to like manipulate the way people see her, and you're not winning. I happened to pop on Rumble the other night just to like see something about Nick Fuentes. His numbers are growing. That should be a signal to you. People want truth. I think people listen to Nick Fuentes right now, not even because they agree with everything he says, because he's kind of crazy, a little. And I don't mean that like mentally crazy. I mean, like, he says some pretty outlandish things. He takes a lot of risks, and I don't care. But I don't agree with everything. But like, I don't find myself all like, oh my gosh, I gotta shut these people up. And I think the only reason you feel like, oh my gosh, I got to shut these people up, might be because you're worried about your paycheck. Because that's when you get a little more invested in what's going on, right? You're like, because your finances are there. And so then you get a little scared, like the money train might not be coming in. And if that's the case, I'm not the moral judger of who should get paid to say what or whatever, but I just think it should be transparent. I mean, I promote health. So yeah, everything I talk about is related to health in some way. And I'm all about nutrition and eating. Like, I'm not trying to hide that. I'm not, I don't need to hide what I'm doing here. I sell wellness products. I believe in health. I'm trying to change the medical model. Like, it all lines up, but some of these people, it doesn't line up. And I'm not sure, like, there's something, I don't know why you're so upset about this. So like, come out with why you're upset about it clearly, or we're going to be left to make assumptions. It's not that hard. I don't know. Don't act guilty when you're not guilty, and you won't have any problems. Stay tuned. Your health topic up next. Today I'm talking about heart health. Then we'll do the naturally inspired moment. We're all crazy today, all mixed up. It's okay. I promise. I'll get it all in. Stay tuned.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
I'm kind of reminded, just as during the break, I was thinking, there was a clip that I played a couple of years ago, maybe. It was Hillary Clinton. And she said something to the effect of, and I won't get it, verbatim, but she said something to the effect of like, hey, we can't have people thinking stuff we didn't tell them what to think. Like she said it point blank. It was like, okay, like she was talking about censorship. She was talking about, the internet being such a dangerous place and all that, and how we can't have people thinking on their own, And so like by you trying to manipulate, you don't trust people. Like if Candace is wrong, she's going to fall flat. And so let her. If she's right, well, then the only reason you wouldn't want what she's doing if she's right to come out is because you're involved in it in some way and it doesn't benefit you. It's pretty simple here. And let me be clear, I don't know where she's going with this. I don't know. But I do find it interesting because she's answering some of the questions that I have had for years. Like, how do these giant churches get funded? Who's funding them? So I don't know. Very interesting. Anyways, let's move on to our health topic for today. Today I'm talking about heart health, and here's why. I want you to stay with me here for a minute, okay? Because I think this is very, very important. A lot of people, they don't have a problem with understanding what they do to get healthier. I need to exercise. I need to eat better. I need to, do this. They kind of know what they need to do. And so, I think the biggest challenge that I have as somebody who kind of, teaches about health and talks about it all the time and is trying to make a difference in the medical model is getting people from knowing what they know and doing an application. So like, what's the gap there? Because there's a gap. There's so much information online available to you. I mean, there's just information overload, right? So you know how to get the information, you know the basics of what you need to do to be healthy, but there's a gap. What keeps people from taking action? And so today, if you'll stick with me for a minute, I want to take you through kind of a story that I hope will inspire you to take action before it's too late. If you're listening to this, just like close your eyes for a minute. I want you to imagine, you're at home and maybe you're walking around and you start feeling like you can't breathe. You start feeling like maybe you've got some pains in your chest. And you try to just think, oh, well, that'll pass, right? That'll pass. But it doesn't pass. And then eventually you got to call your husband or call your wife and you say, I'm having a hard time. Like, I think, I probably need to go to the hospital. And so, your spouse looks at you and says, well, we're going to call an ambulance. You don't look so good. And so an ambulance is called. And I want you to imagine this. And you are sitting, the EMT workers come and you got to get into the back of the ambulance, get some oxygen on this person. Like, we got this. They start injecting you with stuff. And you're like, wait, I don't even know what that is. Like, what is that? What's going on? And they're like, listen, we got to save your life. You're about to have a heart attack. And it's completely out of your control. And you go off and you're sitting in the hospital and you're in the emergency room and there's strangers all around you trying to help you. And they're like, give me your cards and, do this, do that. And you look over and your family's scared and you're scared. And I'm taking you through this because you need to understand prevention. There's a gap, okay? You need to get healthier. You know you do. You know you're carrying around too much weight. You know you haven't been active. You know the stress is killing you. And I'm not blaming you. The world, the society we live in is not designed for us to be focused on our health. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. And I use that story because I'm trying to make an impression on you here. This is serious business. And there seems to be a disconnect. Like, oh, I know I need to get healthier and I'll do it, I'll do it or whatever. But like, think about the possibilities here. You cannot neglect your health forever without consequence. That scenario I described to you happens to people every single day. And I'm not sitting here saying, listen, if you live in prevention, nothing will ever happen to you. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is when you're sitting in the hospital and everybody's worried about you and you're freaking out and you're getting injected with stuff and you don't even know what you're getting injected with, you have no control over the situation. Are you going to think at all for 1 minute, I did everything I could to prevent this from happening? Because that's really the difference. If you're sitting there and you're thinking, I did nothing to prevent this from happening, there's going to be a big difference in the way you feel. I'm not saying that to make you feel fearful. I'm saying that because I do this because I want people to get better results. I don't want that to happen to you. That happens to people, and then guess what? Then they come and join my community after the fact because they had to learn the hard way. I learned the hard way with the medical model. I had to learn the hard way. My son was injured by a medical intervention. I was forced to learn how to curate health. You don't have to. You can start today. You can start today living different for better results. So 7 preventative measures that you can do for a healthy heart today. Number 1, stabilize blood sugar daily. We talk about this all the time. Insulin resistance, did you know it's a big part of a healthy heart? Number 2, build lean muscle mass. Muscle is medicine. You can't sit around. You got to get moving. It is part of your physiology. Muscle is medicine. Number 3, you got to support your mitochondria. We're exposed to toxins every single day. We have no control over what they're spraying in the sky. We have no control over a lot of things, but you do have control over what you're putting in your mouth. That's a big part of it. What you're putting on your skin, what you're choosing to surround yourself with. You do have control over that. So CoQ10, omega-3s, polyphenols, they all support cellular energy. Number 4, lower chronic inflammation. Inflammation thickens your blood. It damages your vessels. It accelerates plaque formation. So you got to prioritize whole foods. Number 5, manage stress and strengthen your nervous system. We talked about this on Tuesday night, how important the nervous system is. Chronic stress keeps you in fight or flight, and guess what? You cannot heal and stay in homeostasis when you're chronically in fight or flight. Number 6, you got to protect your vascular health because your arteries are living tissue. So you improve your elasticity, right? You want to make sure that you are supporting nitric oxide production. You got to get your minerals in. You've got to hydrate electrolytes. And number 7, reduce toxic load. Environmental toxins and heavy metals can inflame your vessels. They disrupt mitochondrial function. So important. So again, you can never control everything, but you can control what's in your environment. You're not going to control what they're spraying from the skies. You're not going to control certain things, but you can have control over what you're putting in your mouth. You can supplement for prevention. You can build muscle for prevention. There's a lot you can do before you end up in the back of an ambulance. Hear me. You can go to naturallyinspiredstore.com/heart, purchase our Smart Heart Complex, get yourself into the Naturally Inspired community by making that purchase. And guess what? You'll get access to my Priority Health text line. We can chat. You can tell me your goals. I can connect you to the information that you need to start building a lifestyle that you love, a lifestyle that supports your health, where that fear of getting put in the back of an ambulance and having no control over what you're getting injected with becomes a little further away, because you know that you're doing everything you can to protect your health. There's no excuse anymore. I know, business is busy. I know, the kids are little. I know, the dog needs this. It's never the right time. You're constantly putting it off. I'm not going to do this. I'll do this later. No, do it now. You'll be so glad that you did. You'll be so glad that you acted. There's always going to be something else that you can spend your money on. There's always going to be something else. We live in super consumerism. But let's prioritize here, because nothing is more important than your health. If you don't prioritize it yourself, it will become your priority. There are people on my health text line right now that are in recovery from things like heart attacks, cancer, chronic illness. They're in recovery. And I bet if you asked any of them, they could probably tell you a few things that they wish they had done. I sit here today, I can say this to you because I feel 100% confident that if anything happens to me, I have done everything I know how to do. Everything I know how to do to try to live healthy. You can't control everything, you know? Emotions are a big thing for me. It's hard to, manage those, but I try, and I am doing everything I can to make sure that they don't affect my health. And so if that were to happen to me, I'd be sitting there thinking, well, I did everything that I could. Can you say the same thing? Can you say the same thing? And if you can't, then who is going to be affected if that happens to you? I want you to think about this before. Who would be negatively affected by you having a major event with your health? Do it for them. If you can't do it for yourself, do it for them. I have people all the time tell me, I can't do this right now. My dog needs help. Who's going to take care of the dog? You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back. You're into the second hour of Naturally Inspired Radio. The first hour, we were talking about this whole thing with Candace Owens, and so I have some questions. About the military-industrial complex. Like, what's really going on here? There seems like, and I'm not even saying that it's like some big evil agenda. I'm just saying that perhaps a lot of things are astroturfed and we don't really understand it. When I say astroturfed, I mean like they are presented in a way like, oh, this is organic. This is what our real purpose is. We're all about this. We're, funded by the public or what have you. But really behind the scenes, there's something else actually working out. There's funding coming from other places. It's kind of a pay to play type scenario. You're not really getting the organic, push out. It's coming from a bigger force. I think that happens a lot. And, like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean that the whole thing's rotten. It's just that maybe, they decided to go this direction and they didn't really want to make that public. Okay. But we're in an age where people actually want to know what the hell's going on. We've had it. We've had it. We've all had it. Just tell us the truth. Okay. We'll decide what we want to do from there. But instead, they're constantly nerfing everything, like, oh, don't do that. And don't tell them this. Oh, we've got to make sure everybody knows Candace Owens is crazy because they're too stupid to see the truth. They're going to be fooled by her. It's just not adding up. And so we spent the first hour kind of talking about that. And then we've been talking about your health and how important it is to get right with your health. I cannot stress enough prevention. There's so much you can do with lifestyle. You would not believe it. I have somebody I'm so proud of in my health network right now, in my community. She just decided. We met a few weeks back and she just decided, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say, I'm going to do what she says. And she's down 25 pounds now. She's down 25 pounds. And, she's been working her tail off to do it. And she's had a couple setbacks here and there, but she just keeps going. And I just want that switch for everybody, because I know when you hit that, that switch is coming. It's coming. You can't avoid it with your health. It comes at some point where the switch has to be flipped, because, oh my gosh, now I'm in real trouble. I just don't think it needs to get that bad. In fact, I know it doesn't need to get that bad. You can change it today. You can change it today. Just be like Brenda. 25 pounds down because she flipped the switch. So proud of her, and so proud of many of you. I have so many stories like that. And I'm proud of all of you that have taken the action to do it. I just think it's awesome. And I'm just it's the only thing that keeps me going, man. It's so exciting to see people changing their lives. So I don't want to leave anybody behind, because I know that you are the key to changing the medical model. Once you figure it out and you're like, this is what I got to do to feel better, to have more energy, to sleep better, to lose that weight, to whatever the goal is, this is what I got to do. You're never going back. And that's real change. That's real change. All right, let's get to some stories, because I tell you what, you do not hate your health insurance companies enough. This is a viral video going around right now. Bless this lady, because she used to work for a health insurance company, and she's revealing to you how it works behind the scenes. Take a listen.
For maybe 9 months, here's my story. I worked in the medical claims department and went through training for about 2 to 3 months to get out on the claims rep floor, and was taught so many different ways to deny. Every policy is completely different, so there was thousands of policies that we had to kind of memorize, which was impossible, but they demanded it. They were so mean to us. But I'm here to talk about one specific claim. It was a widowed woman calling me at least 2-3 times a day, asking if I knew anything, because they were taking her to court for this. Her husband had just passed from pancreatic cancer, and this was a hospice claim. They were already garnishing her wages, and this was less than 60 days after he died. By the way, she was left with 5 boys by herself. She was a stay-at-home mom her whole life. She was just trying to figure out life. There was absolutely no reason why we couldn't just submit this claim and be done. But they told me every which way to deny this, to get her off of our phone line. It was absolutely despicable. But there was one day that I was approved a certain amount of monies. And that amount of monies could cover one claim. A big one, yes, but it could cover one big claim. Big meaning, I'm pretty sure it was like 400,000, 500,000, a lot of freaking money. But they were expecting this single mom to pay it. Oh, and by the way, they took all of her insurance from her. So she didn't work. She had no health insurance.
So, a lot of you write into me on my health text line and ask me what to do about insurance. I don't know what to do. I don't get the care. I don't know what to do. I don't give advice like this. I don't give financial advice. Obviously, I don't give advice like that. But I think the fear for a lot of people is that they'll go bankrupt without health insurance. And I'm just going to tell you that I know a lot of people now that have gone bankrupt with it. You know, so if that's the fear, then maybe there's another way to work it out. You know, because without this insurance model that we have in this country, it isn't going anywhere unless people stop paying for it. I mean, that's one of the reasons why they tied it to your job. You know, so you had to have it. And, you know, they give your employer a tax break for offering it to you. So it becomes enticing to them. You know, schlepping to work every day, paying that premium. You make the whole thing happen. Happens if people opt out of this. I think it's a different model that emerges at that point, you know? So something to consider. Like I said, I don't give advice on what you should do with health insurance or anything like that. But I do know that these stories that this lady recounts, man, I think I've been doing this, 6 years. I have heard hundreds of these stories. So, yeah. In the rest of the clip, I cut it because I didn't want her to talk about the company, because actually the company that she worked for came out and said that they were going to start suing people who said anything bad about them online. Sounds a little bit like a mafia, doesn't it? It's weird how a lot of things in our country operate like in the format of a mafia. Shut up, pay your premiums. We can do whatever we want. We'll deny this, we'll deny that. And there ain't a damn thing you can do about it because you gotta have health insurance. It feels criminal. It feels criminal. Like you pay for something, you have no choice over how you receive treatment. They tell you what treatment you can and cannot have, but you're buying something. You are buying a product. You're buying health insurance is a product. A company sells it. They profit off it. They are supposed to provide you a service because you're buying it. But they don't really. They don't, because they actually dictate to you what you can use this on. And gosh, the whole thing just doesn't feel good, But yet we have this massive mechanism of fear, right? There's fear. And I think that's the only reason people pay for it is fear. So I don't know anybody that's like, oh, it just worked out great. No. I don't. I want to bring up another topic, and I'll get to it here. I'll introduce it. And then after the break, I guess we'll go to the clip. So you know who Jillian Michaels is, right? I played a clip from her yesterday. And she used to be on a show, NBC show, I think it was, that was called The Biggest Loser. And what she did is she worked with restrictive calorie diets and intense exercise to help morbidly obese people lose weight rapidly. And they did it in the format of a reality TV show. And since then, she's kind of been, she's done a few things. I think she had a podcast for a while before like COVID and stuff. And, she's been on multiple magazine covers and stuff like that. She's like maybe, I don't know if she actually trained people anymore or if it was just like more media stuff. And all the power to her. I'm not saying anything bad about her, but what I will say is people like Jillian and people like that are in media around health. It's just my opinion, but I feel like they're not really in health. And here's why I think that. I feel like they're in aesthetics. If you want aesthetic advice, meaning you want advice on how to look a specific way, like Jillian Michaels, then she's your gal. If that's what you're after, she's your gal. That said, if you want health advice, I'm not sure she's your gal. And the reason why is because, Jillian Michaels, again, another one who took the COVID vaccine, and came out afterwards, much, much later, when it was clear and safe to start talking about the downfalls of these things. That again makes me a little suspicious. You know, once they had their little Maha group built out, you know, with the Casey and Callie Means and the Dr. Drews and, you know, then it was safe for them to come out and start talking about actual health. But not before. Not before, when us crazy people were out here telling you, don't do that, man. Don't do that. Here's why. Listen to this expert. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Welcome back. I want to invite you to join us in the Naturally Inspired community. Here's what you get. Okay, you get clean, clinically tested products, multivitamins and such things. You get my access to my health coaching text line. Talk to people every day, back and forth, problem solving, giving solutions, pointing them in the right direction. Encouragement is also part of that. You get my words of encouragement every morning, bright and early, 6 a.m. You get a little bit of direction on how to start your day. You also get the Tuesday night weekly wellness workshop. So that's Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. This week we've talked about PTSD. We've been talking about your nervous system, how it's very important to know how your nervous system operates and what you can do to regulate it for health. So we've been talking about that. So many different topics, a different topic every time on Tuesdays. I do about a 30-minute presentation, and then we do 30 minutes of community and Q&A and whatnot. And so much more. You know, you get 15% off of retail products. You get free and flat rate shipping. Lots of different benefits. Right now, we have a wonderful deal on collagen, where when you buy 3 bottles of collagen, you can use the promo code GIFT15, and you get an extra 15% off. And then when you spend over $175, you can also use a new promo code for a free mascara. So there's always deals like that going on. So if you have questions and you want to know how to take advantage of that, you can text me 720-303-8868 on my health text line. You can go to naturallyinspiredstore.com. Grab our Heart Health, our Smart Health complex. Get started. You know, that's a great place to start, especially if a concern of yours is heart health. You can go to the store or go to naturallyinspiredstore.com/heart health. All right, let's play this video of Miss Jillian, and I'll tell you what I mean. I just want to be clear about this. I think there's definitely a place, you know, for aesthetics. If that's your goal, I'm all about it. If you're about aesthetics, then some of these influencers that are even in the Maha movement, you know, they may be somebody that you want to follow. But take a listen to Jillian here.
Jillian, I'm going to change the subject for a second here. I know you've been talking to your Beverly Hills plastic surgeon about what Ozempic can really do to your body. Okay, fill us in. What can Ozempic really do?
I went in for a routine Botox injection. I'm a health expert, but I'm not a nun, for goodness sake. And he always downloads me kind of on the latest and trends of what's going on in skincare and health and what he sees in his office. And he was just basically unloading on me about how he's noticing some of his patients, obviously he did not name names, some of his patients on Ozempic are not healing properly, that the skin doesn't just look older, it's behaving older. And I looked into it a little bit because I thought, okay, this is crazy. This is obviously more than just, we're losing some subdermal fat. And it turns out that there are studies that suggest we're seeing a breakdown in structural proteins. So elastin, collagen, hyaluronic acid. And one of the theories is that Ozempic is actually deactivating adipose stem cells in our skin, in the subdermal layer of our skin, that produce these structural proteins. So that was just one of many things that I've been hearing from doctors lately on Ozempic. It's really something that needs to be thought through carefully before taking it.
At my age, all I want to do is lose weight, and I don't really care about the quality of my skin. That's just the way it is. Jillian Michaels, you're a pleasure to have on the show. Come back again soon, please. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, you guys, but everything is so fake. Everything is so fake. So just 2 weeks ago, we had RFK and Trump signed a big deal with these GLP-1 companies to negotiate that, we'll give you access to Medicaid and Medicare. In exchange, you got to lower drug prices across the board. They cut that deal. Okay. This right here, this is a message. Jillian Michaels works for Maha. She's in the inner circles. So she comes out now and says, I was just getting my routine Botox. First of all, there is no routine Botox. Are you going for routine Botox? I'm not going for routine Botox. There's no such thing as routine Botox. She calls herself a health expert. I would say, Jillian, you're an aesthetic expert. You look fantastic. No doubt about it. You are an expert at aesthetics. Perfect. Did you know that there are people that get severely injured by Botox? They're toxed from it, and they have terrible side effects from it. There's whole Instagram accounts about it, right? Did you know that fillers and whatnot can move around in your face? Right? No, Jillian wouldn't know that because she doesn't come from the world of health. She comes from the world of aesthetics. And not only that, again, another person who took the vax. Don't you want your health, information coming from someone who tells you, warns you about things before they happen? We've really, I came from my Beverly Hills doctor from my routine Botox. I mean, I'm a health expert. I'm not a nun. I'm not a nun, but I don't want botulism. I don't want to paralyze my face so that eventually I have drooping because, Botox actually does a lot more than what they, fill in wrinkles. You're playing with fire with that stuff. And anybody that was a health expert, you would think they would advise you to do, why are you doing things so risky? Because that's a risk you don't have to take. You don't have to take Botox. It isn't routine. But make no mistake about it, she's on that show for a reason. This is, negotiations. You screwed us on this negotiation? Well, guess what? Jillian Michaels is going to go on TV and tell you that, these drugs are actually kind of bad. They don't call up Jillian Michaels out of the blue and just say, hey, why don't you come and talk about your Beverly Hills doctor today? We got to start thinking like they think so we can understand. And again, I'm not saying I don't care. Fine, do it. no big deal. But like the regular consumer needs to understand why this stuff happens. Because otherwise you're just like, oh, well, Jillian Michaels takes Botox. It can't be that bad, right? Like, oh, now Jillian Michaels is concerned about Ozempic. Oh, maybe I shouldn't take it. Geez, just weeks ago, it was probably a good thing. Like you're being torn back and forth. It's going to be the same thing with the hormone replacement therapy, you guys. They're pumping out hormone replacement therapy, promoting it now because they're in a deal. They're in a deal with the pharmaceutical companies. We'll promote this, but, hold back on that. We won't attack your vaccines. If you give us this, we won't, this is a negotiations. It's not about your health. It's got nothing to do with your health. This is business for... Did you see that the stock market was on the screen during this? This is not a health segment. This is a business segment. They're showing you the stock ticker of the prices of the pharmaceutical products she's talking about. Please do not get sucked into this stuff. It is all about money. And it ends in tears. It ends in tears. Do what you got to do to be healthy. All right, real quick, I wanted to just let you know about this fascinating topic as well. It was a Japanese lady. And I have to pull up the story here because I forgot to print it off. But get this, you guys. So yesterday we were talking quite a bit about like the utopian future of artificial intelligence and whatnot. Well, wouldn't you know it, is that a woman in Japan has been the first woman to marry her AI. So this is just like so crazy. But, she was in a real relationship with an actual human being. And while she was in a relationship with an actual human being, she was programming a AI from chat or what have you, one of those. And she was programming it and teaching this AI with the type of man that she wanted it to be. So it would answer questions the way she wanted it, right? You train an AI, you train it. And so she trained it so well, it makes her feel so good that she decided to marry it. So she broke her relationship off with a actual human being, and she wore virtual reality glasses of some sort because I assume she's created some kind of avatar for this digital man that she has invented, and she married it. She married it. It's a actual marriage. And, I would say that's going to change things a little bit, It's going to change things a little bit if people are marrying computer screens. And I'm not sure how we square this in reality. It makes me think that pretty soon here, there is going to be no room for reality. And I mean that quite literally. No space for reality. I think we're already living that, actually. Sometimes, if I have to deal with a customer service issue or, and I have to deal with somebody, I'm noticing that it doesn't seem to matter what my words say and what actually happened. It's only about what's happened online. Meaning, well, my company's policies are this. This is what let me pull up my file here and read from it. And I'm just going to regurgitate this statement to you over and over and over again because this is what the computer says. This is what the computer says. This is what the computer says. And you're going, are you listening to my words at all? Because that doesn't pertain to this situation. It doesn't even make sense. But there's no ability to comprehend anything outside of what the machine says. Do you experience this? I've been experiencing this now for years. I don't know. It's going to be very tough for those of us that are analog girls living in digital world. It's going to be very tough. But don't worry, I'll be here for it. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. Bob Greska's going to be joining me in a moment. I can't wait to catch up with him. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know that detoxing daily can help remove up to 70% of the toxins in your body? Let me share 3 real stories about how Greska's C60 has helped people feel their best every day. John from Denver, Colorado says,
I've always struggled with seasonal allergies, but since I started taking Greska's C60 every day, my symptoms have significantly improved. I don't feel congested or tired all the time. It's been an amazing daily detox for my body, and I feel so much more energized.
Emily from Portland, Oregon says,
As an athlete, I was looking for a way to keep my body clean and detoxed. Greska's C60 has been a great addition to my routine. I feel less bloated and I feel more clear-headed. Plus, it's helped me with occasional muscle stiffness and aches after intense workouts.
Visit c60.com or call 720-600-6040 today to start your own journey. Use promo code TAMMY at checkout for a special discount.
Bob Greska is an aerospace materials engineer that changed career direction many years ago now, I think. But he used to build spacecraft, and he switched into health and human performance. He is the CEO and founder of Greska's C60, which is an incredible supplement based on carbon, the very essence of life. Bob, welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio. How are you, my friend?
Hey, Tammy, nice to be here. Glad to be back. I should say back in town, but I'm not. I'm in Tampa, Florida right now, and we're at an expo out here. So I've been doing some traveling. Sam did the show a few times, so that's been good practice for him.
Yes, Bob, you look great. You look like you have a tan.
A little bit, yeah. I'm going to get some more. We got a 3-day expo coming up here, and it's a Hack Your Health Expo. So
nice.
It's in Tampa, Florida, and we just checked in. So we just flew in today. So we just took a break and figured we'd talk with you for a little bit. And I just listened to your show earlier and the frustrations with all these artificial ingredients and they're putting into your body and everything like that. I hear it, and the expense of all these pharmaceuticals and these doctor visits and all those things add up. You know, they accumulate. And, you know, we've got a natural product, and I'm going to explain it real simple terms. You know, keep it simple. You heard the expression KISS. Keep it simple.
Yes, I like that.
And, so I'm going to explain it real simply how the Carbon 60 works, and talk about, you know, you talk about beauty products. I do want to talk about the face serum too, because we've had some extremely good results with that, and I got some good testimonies to back it up. So, I mean, just recent, we get them we get several testimonies a week. So,
awesome. Well, let's start, because I think we have new audience members on. Okay, yep. New audience members that maybe don't know about Greska's C60. So, let's keep it simple, and you just tell us exactly what Greska's C60 is and what it does.
Okay, I'm going to start. I'm going to explain what most health issues are. You ask any doctor this, they'll tell you this answer. Health issues are caused by free radicals. Free radicals are molecules in your body that are missing electrons, so they're incomplete. They don't function. And that one molecule will steal an electron from its neighboring molecule, and that one from its neighbor, and that one from its neighbor, and that one from its neighbor. And that domino cascading effect of stealing one electron is called oxidative stress. And it rips through a cell, causing it not to function properly. These are responsible. Ask your doctor. 99% of all health issues are caused by free radicals. So what we have, it comes in a bottle. It's carbon. It's natural. It's a natural product. It's a formulation of carbon 60. Carbon comes in different forms. It comes in it's basically the arrangement of the atoms. And like diamond is in a triangular format. You have 3 diamond, a triangular pattern for the diamond. You have graphene, which is a flat sheet, looks like chicken wire. You have There are amorphous carbon, which is just random carbon. That's like your activated charcoal. And then you have carbon 60, which is actually a molecule that looks like a soccer ball. And being spherical, it can give up an electron, and that's what makes it work. So it stops that cascade stealing of electron going through your cell, causing, if they're in your liver, you get liver problems. You're in your brain, you get brain problems. They're in your eye, you have eye problems. It's a common denominator. It just depends where they happen to be located in your body that causes the problem. And so taking an oral supplement on a daily basis, the carbon 60, people see results fairly quickly, sometimes, within a few days, typically, and sometimes even within minutes, especially with our pain formula. Now, it's the same carbon 60 molecule that still works the same way, but this one here is in a spray. We call it our topical mist. And you can just spray this on over a joint, muscle pain, or even over an organ to flood that. We're seeing more and more flooding that particular part of your body, like putting some on topically over your liver, let's say. You will see problems dissipate because you're flooding that area with the carbon 60 molecule, giving that electron back to the molecules that are missing electrons. And now your cells function the way God intended. They work. And that's what carbon 60 does. And we have several different forms of it. We have the oral supplement, carbon 60, and sunflower oil, this one. We have it in olive oil, too, for those who like olive oil. We have it in water as a topical mist. That's a spray on. And we have it in also what we're calling hydrated fullerenes. You can use this topically and take it orally. And we send out some tests to some of our the regular customers that have been with us for years, and they test it out, and they like the water better because it has no taste, no calories. It's not like an oil, and it permeates the body quicker. They're seeing quicker results with it. And then, of course, we have the face serum, which is the carbon 60 in squalane oil, which, if you want to get rid of age spots, wrinkles, fine lines, blemishes, we even had a birthmark disappear on the one, and we got those pictures posted on the website. Take a look at them, and we've got a new flyer out too. If you want to, just email us at our website is www.c60.com or info@c60.com. You can send it that, and we'll email you a flyer if you want to read about it. So we got a little bit a different approach here.
Yeah, I love that. I love your guys' different approach because I hear from our community members all the time, oh yeah, I called and I talked to Bob and this is what he said about that. And this is what and you don't get that anymore. You don't get that one-on-one service from somebody that has taken the time and the effort to develop a product that brings relief to people in the marketplace. And I know that that's what C60 does, especially for pain, right? I love this product for pain because when we are dealing with deficiency in the body, that's where dysfunction happens. A lot of the times we have nutritional deficiency, and what really gets us into the pharmaceutical model is because we can't take the pain anymore. Mm-hmm. Right? And so people, they don't want to take pharmaceuticals, but they don't know what else is out there to help them with pain. So talk to me just a little bit before we go to break here in a couple minutes about some of the people that you've helped with pain and the results that they've gotten.
Well, pain's a big indicator that something's wrong. It's not working properly in your body. And like if you have, people that have muscle pain, or people that lift weights. Let's talk about athletes that lift weights, and they can using the product. It helps remove the lactic acid in your body and gets rid of your delayed onset muscle soreness, so you don't have that anymore. And if you strain yourself, like say you strain a muscle and so forth, it helps your muscle mend itself back together quicker with the carbon. Putting it on that muscle topically, it goes through the skin. I mean, these particles are very, very small. I mean, and that's what the beauty of them. It's like an antioxidant in food that gives up an electron, same kind of deal, but these are 200,000 times smaller in size, so they're much more bioavailable. And it's carbon. It's your body's used to. Your body's made out of carbon. We eat food that's made out of carbon. Carbon's not an unnatural element to your body, so your body's very used to it. And so it needs carbon, and that's why we eat food to get carbon. But this is just a special form that's real small that is in a shape to give up an electron, and that's what makes it work. Yeah, people with, people even with peripheral nerve pain in their feet, and they get tingling sensation. They put the topical mist on their feet, and within 5 minutes they said, "Hey, look, the tingling's going away. I can tell there's something going on here." They can tell. You can actually feel this stuff work. Now, a lot of supplements you take, you don't notice anything. You just say, well, I read about it. It's supposed to do this. This one, you can actually feel the difference. You can feel it working. If you got sunburn on your face, you spray some of the mist on your face, and immediately, you feel this cooling of your skin, and that's the electrons actually going in, and you get the free radicals from the ultraviolet light that comes in and knocks electrons off the molecules in your skin and gives you that leathery fixed feeling or texture. Well, carbon-60 puts it back on, so your skin is very supple. And that's why we have excellent use with our face serum, excellent results with it, and people talking about it. They look better. We have a picture before and after on our website. You look better. You look more radiant. It's just fun stuff. I had a gentleman telling me that he was using the carbon-60 on the skin, and he says, "Wow, what a difference I can feel." And it makes you happy. It makes you happy. If you feel good, you look better.
Yeah. Oh no, it's totally true. And I bet it makes you happy to know that you're impacting people's lives with something positive, that only the body heals, but you're giving them a chance. You're giving them a product that gives the body a chance to heal.
Exactly. That's what it is. It's a tool to help it mend itself. And yeah, that's why we're out at expos right now. Like I said, we're in Tampa, Florida. I've been to Honolulu a couple of weeks ago, and then Florida again, and now I'm back in Florida. So we've had some really good results at these expos where I get a booth, and we set up a booth, we give out samples, and people try it. And so it's been fun. I think Sam told you about the Uber driver that came by.
Yes.
And yeah, her knees were sore. I'll tell you, this is a great story. I got to tell it again. Her knees were sore, and she picked me up as an Uber driver, and I said, "Oh, okay, your knees are sore. Here at the stoplight, spray some of the topical mist on your legs, on your knees." And so she did, and by the time she got to the next, we're dropping me off about 5 minutes, 10 minutes later, she said, "My pain's gone in my knees." I said, "Great, that's the way it works." I said, here's a bottle. Come pick me up tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I need to go somewhere. So I have my personal Uber driver, driving around, going everywhere. And she took it that day. And the next day when she picked me up in the morning, this is one serving, one dose in her mouth. She said she could hear the people at the restaurant and table next to her. She couldn't hear them beforehand. Her hearing was diminished. And so her husband was going around all day long going, whispering her name, Jennifer. And she says, "Cut it out, I can hear you."
That was awesome.
She's a happy camper. Yeah, she's very happy. Yeah.
That was an awesome story. Hold on, everybody, because we're going to come back with Bob Greska. Visit C60.com. C60.com. We'll be right back. We're going to learn about what else happened in Honolulu and what he's got planned for Florida. Stay tuned, everybody. You're not going to want to miss it.
Did you know that detoxing daily can help remove up to 70% of the toxins in your body? Let me share 3 real stories about how Greska's C60 has helped people feel their best every day. John from Denver, Colorado says,
I've always struggled with seasonal allergies, but since I started taking Greska C60 every day, my symptoms have significantly improved. I don't feel congested or tired all the time. It's been an amazing daily detox for my body, and I feel so much more energized.
Emily from Portland, Oregon says,
As an athlete, I was looking for a way to keep my body clean and detoxed. Greska C60 has been a great addition to my routine. I feel less bloated and I feel more clear-headed. Plus, it's helped me with occasional muscle stiffness and aches after intense workouts.
Visit C60.com or call 720-600-6040 today to start your own journey. Use promo code TAMMY at checkout for a special discount.
Everybody visit Bob Greska at C60.com is where you can get yourself some Greska's Carbon 60. It's 99.99% pure. And it's super concentrate, extra strength, improves your health, targets inflammation and unhealthy cells. You could speak to a real person too. You know, call Bob if you have questions. Would this work for that? Would this work for that? There's a lot of information on the website here. If you're a science dork, there's a whole tab here, C60 Science, and it shows you, how it's backed by research. Carbon 60 is backed by research, all different categories here. Antiviral properties, even that it inhibits influenza A, promotes healthy immune response, promotes antioxidant activity, prevents muscle fatigue, promotes healthy immune response, inhibits the allergic response. That's an interesting topic. And so it's even, shown effective against wrinkles, helps prevent UV damage. There's so many different aspects to Carbon C60, and Greska's Carbon 60 is the very best on the market, in my opinion, because it's real carbon. Bob, welcome back to Naturally Inspired. Well, maybe explain that to people. Why is it the best? I learned because it's black, right? It's real carbon.
Yeah, carbon is black. It's not any other color. It's not purple. It's not blue. It's black. And if you mix carbon 60 with solvents, it'll give a color of purple. And that's what there's a lot of, I started out in the carbon 60 world, and there's been 50 to 100 companies that have copycatted me and actually use the industrial grade carbon 60. And they try to get the solvents out. They heat it up and they heat it real hot again. And they put it through a process to try to vaporize all the solvents off. And, a lot of those solvents get chemically bonded to the carbon molecule. I'm a bit of a chemist here. So, they bond to the molecules, so they're trapped, the solvents are. And your body will actually take those solvents that are with these other carbon 60s and hide them in your body. It'll hide them in your fat tissue. And it's not good until your body can't hide anymore. Then you start feeling the negative effects of the carbon, of the solvents in there. And, they have to put Proposition 65 on their website, which they do. We don't have any solvents anywhere in there. It's just a clean product. I'm a carbon aerospace geek scientist.
What's Proposition 65?
Proposition 65 is a California proposition that says that if your product is used with any toxins or anything that's harmful, you have to list it. And my competitors, they put that on their website, but they bury it in the back somewhere, Prop 65. California is a stickler for toxins and any environmental concerns and everything like that. And a lot of their work is very, very good. I believe what they say. Thank God for Bobby Kennedy pulling out the mercury thimerosal out of the vaccines and all that other stuff that's in there. And by the way, carbon 60 will help you get rid of those heavy metals and those toxins out of your body. It actually will act. Toxins, by definition, come into your body, and they're electron stealers. They steal an electron off a molecule, making the free radical that causes that domino cascading effect. And that's what happens when you have a toxin and you have a heavy metal coming in it. Basically, by definition, most toxins are electron stealers. They come in and steal electrons. So it's all back to the electron, and I know that's the science end of it, but the product, take it, try it. We have a face serum, we have an oral supplement, we have a topical application. And we're finding even more so if you put it on topically, take it orally to get all your organs, your glands, your tissues working, secretions coming out the way they're supposed to, because some of them, your body, naturally makes free radicals, but you get more of them from toxins. And as you get older, you slow down your free radical removal process, slows down. So you can't get rid of all these free radicals. And that's what carbon-60 comes in very handy to minimize those and get rid of those.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense about how we have a harder time getting rid of toxins as we get older, because it's like everything kind of slows down a little bit if we're not living in prevention specifically. Talk to me a little bit about the hydrated fluorines.
The hydrated fluorines, they are carbon-60 in water, and we have an exclusive process, and being the carbon engineer that I am, I developed a process to put carbon-60 into water without using it. They use it's commonly done, or not really. It's very uncommon to actually have it.
I was going to say, that's very, very hard, you guys, everybody listening. It's very hard to do.
Yeah, it's like when you put flour and water and mix them together. They don't really mix. It takes a while to be, to give you that. That's because one's polar and one's non-polar. Your water is polar. It has 2 hydrogens on one side and 1 oxygen on the other. And with the carbon-60 is a spherical molecule, so there's no pole on it. So it's hard to mix those two together. But it took me 3 years to finally get them to stay in solution without dropping out. So it's a carbon-60. It's a colloidal solution. It's carbon-60 suspended in water. There's no other additives. All of our products basically have 2 ingredients. That we don't have list a whole bunch of other things that's supposed to help you and work. It's carbon-60 is the powerhouse. It does all the heavy lifting in all of our products. It's all we have is carbon-60 and sunflower oil, carbon-60 in olive oil, carbon-60 in squalene, carbon-60 in water. But the water is a very, very nice product. Yeah.
What do you mean when you say colloidal solution?
Colloidal, that's where the particles are so small, it doesn't matter what their density is. So you could have something that's heavy, high density material in like water, which is a lower density. So they're so small that they will suspend and they will float around. It's a science phenomenon that goes on, and when everything's in colloidal, it just means that the particles are so small, and they're very small. The particles that we make, the 20 nanometers. And just to give you an idea of what 20 nanometers is, if you took one red blood cell and hollowed it out and filled it full of these 20 nanometer spheres that we convert in the laboratory, you can fit 14 billion carbon-60 molecules inside one red blood cell. 14 billion. Yeah. Wow. So they're small. So they go that's the beauty of it, though. That's what makes it work. They go everywhere in the body, and each one of those has the ability to give up an electron or 2. And it stabilizes your free radicals, neutralizes toxins so they can't do any damage. And it's great stuff. Yeah.
Well, tell us about what's going on in Tampa this weekend. So you mentioned it. There's a like a trade show, kind of like a Hack Your Health trade show. Yeah. So how do people find you? Where is it, and how can they get there? Because I know we have listeners right now in Tampa, Florida. Yeah, so you should go out and meet Bob.
I had one text me while we were interviewing here. Oh. But we're in the Tampa Convention Center, and the event is called Hack Your Health. And it's in downtown Tampa, and we're staying at the Holiday Embassy Suites, which is like right across there's a bridge that walks across to get to the convention center. So we're very close to it, so it makes it real convenient. It's a 3-day event, so come on out, visit our booth. We're at booth 712, and say hi. And if you can make it, that would be great.
Awesome. So he's in booth 712. Go and tell him you heard him on Naturally Inspired, and shake his hand, because Bob's doing incredible work. And this isn't easy, when you're an inventor and you bring a product to the marketplace as just a single American businessman out there trying to build, his company. It takes a lot of persistence. It takes a lot of perseverance. And Bob, I just admire you so much for all the years that you've put in on on this and how many people you have helped with this product. It's for pain. Just off the top of my head, you guys, it's helped with sunburn. It's helped with allergies. I've snorted this stuff up my nose. In the first week of August, I always get a little something, a little kind of reaction in my eyes. And by snorting it, it completely wiped it away. My daughter has used it for headache before, where she just sprays it on her temple and it goes away. My son has used it. He keeps some of it in his bag because he's always getting banged up at the gym, and he'll just use it instead of like any NSAID or any, pain relief, because my kids know the pain relief over the counter, it's going to destroy your gut, right? So it just takes a little bit of education to know that there is these products available. You don't have to suffer. A lot of people think, well, I don't want to do this because I know it's bad for my health, but it's really hard to suffer through pain. It's a monkey on your back. And so you don't have to, because this is 100% natural. It's carbon. It's carbon, right? So what other things have people used it for, Bob? I was thinking tooth pain too.
Well, yeah, tooth pain too. Yeah, I've had people put it on a tooth that was giving them problem, and the pain went away like within an hour. It lasts a few minutes. It goes away quickly. It works very quickly because the particles are so small. And talking about allergies, somebody just put some topically on their bridge of their nose, and I said, put some on your sinuses, and gone. 5 minutes. They could breathe. Everything was gone. I've done the same thing when my nose is all stuffy up. I snorted some, and within 5 minutes, it's all opened up, and I can breathe, and I can go back to sleep without mouth breathing.
Yeah, I wish everyone had known this during COVID, because during COVID, everyone was walking around with masks on, and really what we should have been doing is nose washing. And if we'd have been able to nose wash with carbon 60, well, that would have just provided so much protection for everybody, because COVID-19 was one of those things that actually replicates in your nasal passage. Right? Yep. A lot of viruses, they replicate in your nasal passages. So one of the best things you can do if you feel something coming on, anything, a tickle in your throat or whatever, snort yourself some carbon 60, everybody. And you could get it. I
want to say a comment about the face serum. I had a FedEx driver dropped off a package. And we got talking, and she had some rough skin or something, and I said, "Here, take one," And so she took a bottle, and she called me up this morning, and she says, yesterday, I've been traveling, so she called me up yesterday and said, "Hey, you got me hooked. I want 2 bottles."
Yeah, it's something that you just want to have around your house all the time. You just want to have it. You want to have something available, especially for kids and stuff, because you don't want them taking those NSAIDs and those pain relievers. And this is just a great thing that you can have on hand to make sure that, all the bumps and scrapes are taken care of. Everybody visit C60.com, C60.com. Go visit Bob. Visit him at the Hack Your Health conference in Naples, Florida. You want to go? Or Tampa, Florida. Also, I want to get the phone number in case you need to call them. 720-600-6040. Thanks, Bob. And thanks, everybody, for joining us. We're back tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
And go to the website and put Tammy in for 10%.
Thanks, Bob.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, Text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. NaturallyInspiredRadio.com.